After so many years of waiting, finally Incredibles 2 is coming out! And we can hardly wait to revisit our favorite super family, so we have gone ahead and dissected every trailer, every interview, and every piece of information that has come out about the film so far. Hi, I'm Arielle with ChannelFrederator, and it's time to suit up because we're about to discuss everything we know about The Incredibles 2. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad. This new film, which is a sequel to the 2004 smash hit The Incredibles, is set to release on June 15th, 2018. That means it has been 14 years since the first movie. Ironically enough, there is a 15-year flash forward in the first Incredibles movie, so it only seems fitting that we had to wait almost that same amount of time. In 2007, Brad Bird stated that he was open to the idea of making a sequel to The Incredibles, but he would only do so if he could come up with a story better than the first, a la The Godfather Part 2. At the time, he had all the pieces for an exciting plot, but not quite enough to bring them all together. Flash forward 7 years to 2013, and the man was still pondering over how to go about a sequel. The movie was announced on March 2014, and Brad Bird started writing the screenplay in April of 2015. So it's pretty safe to say that the process was moving at snail speed. Many times with sequels, a new team comes in, and as a result, the second movie loses the heart that the first one had. Fear not, Pixar got the game back together for this one. As mentioned, just like the first movie, The Incredibles 2 was written by Brad Bird, and he also returned to the director's chair. Pixar also brought on Michael Giacchino to score the movie, so the music in the sequel will have the same charm as the first. John Walker once again serves as a producer, and this time he is joined by Nicole Paradis Grindle. Paradis Grindle's past credits include producing the Pixar short Sanjay's Super Team, which should give you plenty of confidence about her skills. The Incredibles 2 is set to pick up just after the events of the first film. And if you've forgotten where we last left off, we'll refresh you. Parr family had defeated Syndrome after he attacked their home and attempted to kidnap Jack Jack. The movie flashes forward 3 months, and we see that the family has adjusted to normal life and is at a track meet for Dash. All seems well until a new villain named the Underminer appears and declares war on peace and happiness. Luckily, the Parrs have their masks handy and are ready to spring into action to defeat the villain. Since The Incredibles 2 is going to continue right after the heroes put on their masks, the film will presumably start with the Parrs fighting the Underminer as he tries to destroy Metroville. In the first trailer for the movie, there is a shot where Bob, aka Mr. Incredible, attempts to foil the Underminer as he is robbing a bank, and he says, "We meet again!" This scene suggests that there might be a history between Mr. Incredible and the Underminer, or that they don't succeed in defeating him in the first scene. And we know more about the Underminer than you may think. In the early 2000s, Disney released an Incredibles spin-off game called The Incredibles: Rise of the Underminer. Just like the film sequel, the game's story took place immediately after the movie. In the game, the Underminer releases various killer robots on Metroville and then retreats back underground. Helen and the kids fight off the surface invasion while Mr. Incredible and Frozone pursue the Underminer into the depths of his underground empire. While underground, they learn that the Underminer has built a machine that could pollute the entire world. Ultimately, Mr. Incredible and Frozone defeat the Underminer, and he is killed in action in the final battle of the game. In the Incredibles comics, the Underminer is part of a villain alliance known as the Unforgivables. He creates and pilots a giant robot that looks like it belongs to the Incredibles and uses it to tarnish the super family's reputation. It is unknown if the movie will go in either of these directions with the Underminer, but we will assume it will not because these stories have already been told. So where does the movie go from there? Well, if the trailers are any indication, we won't see much of the Underminer after that first battle, as the movie will focus on something entirely different. We know that superheroes are still outlawed according to the Supers Relocation Act from the first film, and Helen reminds the kids that superheroes are illegal. However, that only seems to be in the public sector. Behind the scenes, there's a business mogul who seems to be hiring superheroes in an attempt to bring them back into the limelight. Disney has shared some info about the tycoon, and we'll break down everything we know about him so far. First and foremost, his name is Winston Deaver. Legendary actor Bob Odenkirk voices him, and kind of looks like him too. Winston Deaver runs a telecommunications company with his genius sister, Evelyn Deaver, voiced by Catherine Keener. Evelyn is the brains of the company, while Winston is the businessman. Winston is apparently obsessed with supers and is trying to do everything in his power to let them return, including assembling a team of 3 heroes to change the public perception of supers. Big twist, alas to pun intended, is that as far as the Incredibles are concerned, Deaver only wants Elastigirl. We can assume Elastigirl joins Deaver's new team with their brand new Elastigirl costume and new super high-tech motorcycle for her hero duties. Since Bob didn't make the cut, he's forced to play his most heroic role yet as he takes over sole parenting duties. As in, Jack Jack's duties. Rosen also seems recruited by Deaver. The obvious speculation is that Winston Deaver is the villain in the sequel, and it certainly seems possible. During an interview, Bob Odenkirk was asked if Deaver was the villain of the movie. In fact, Odenkirk said that it would ruin his character in the film if he admitted his character's intentions. So there's that. The only other plot point that seems to be known is that Bob and Helen will finally discover that Jack Jack has powers. If you remember, Jack Jack is the one who defeated Syndrome, and his family didn't see how. However, in the first teaser for the second movie, Jack Jack unleashes some of his abilities, and Bob is thrilled to learn that his son has superpowers. Although we can assume with Jack Jack's powers of super strength, laser vision, shape-shifting, mass-changing, phasing, teleporting, and combustion, Bob will struggle to control his powerful baby. In one of the trailers, we see Bob talking to Edna Mode, and we might already know why. See, the California Screamin' roller coaster at Disney's California Adventure has been redesigned as the Incredibles-themed Incredicoaster, and the ride will tell a story where Edna is babysitting Jack Jack. The roller coaster was designed side by side with the production of Incredibles 2, so it's possible that they took some story beats from the movie. If that's the case, we're guessing Bob asks Edna to babysit Jack Jack while Bob ditches house duties. Again, as of right now, not much else is known about the plot of the movie, but we're actually okay with that. We waited 14 years for this movie. The last thing we want is for everything to be spoiled. Since the sequel takes place immediately after the first movie, all your favorite characters will be back. Unless, of course, your favorite character is Syndrome, then he won't be back for obvious reasons. No capes! We'll even get to see some new faces in the movie. The Incredibles 2 will be introducing a brand new female superhero named Void. Sophia Bush voices her, and her power set includes the ability to create voids that allows objects to appear, disappear, and shift in space. Void is also apparently a huge fan of Elastigirl, and we all know how that last superfan worked out. Syndrome, if you forgot. Since Deaver's forming a team of 3 heroes, it might be safe to assume that Void joins the fold with Elastigirl and Frozone. Isabella Rossellini also joins the cast as the ambassador. Her character will serve as an advocate for legalizing supers around the world. Not much else is known about her role, but there is bound to be an exciting dynamic between her and Winston Deaver. Both are allies of supers, but private businesses and the government don't always seem to mix well. That's all that's been confirmed so far, but I'm sure that Pixar has plenty of other cool characters up their sleeves. Pretty much most of the original cast will be returning for the sequel, except for a couple of actors. Dash was voiced by Spencer Fox in the first Incredibles movie, but he will not be returning for the sequel. Since The Incredibles 2 picks up immediately after the first film, Dash is still 10 years old. He hasn't aged in the 14-year gap since the first movie, but Spencer Fox, who was 11 when he voiced Dash, absolutely has. Returning to voice Dash will be difficult now that Fox is 25, so newcomer Huck Milner will now voice Dash Parr. Breaking Bad star Jonathan Banks will be the new voice for Rick Dicker, head of the official Supers relocation program for the National Supers Agency. Just like the first Incredibles, Dicker is tasked with helping the Parrs keep their identities, well, secret. In the first film, Dicker was voiced by Bud Luckey. Unfortunately, Luckey passed away in February of 2018, so Banks was cast as the replacement. Since the National Supers Agency was disbanded in the first Incredibles, it remains to be seen where Dicker will end up in the sequel. However, it seems odd to cast Jonathan Banks if they didn't plan on using his skill set at least a fair amount. There were rumors that Lady Gaga was going to voice Mirage, and she was listed in the cast when fans googled the movie. See, similar to the case with Rick Dicker, Mirage's original voice actress, Elizabeth Pena, passed away in 2014. In the comic book series, Mirage joins the National Supers Agency as an agent and works with Elastigirl. There is one other tidbit of information that we have, but it's not much of a lead as of now. Images were just released for the LEGO playsets of the movie. While one is Underminer related, there's another that features a female supervillain that we haven't seen before. She appears to be dark-skinned and red-haired, with a brick-themed outfit and the ability to throw bricks. The mystery villain is attacking the Parr home while Dash and Violet fend her off. Based on what we know from the trailers, this mysterious villain could be attacking the Parr home while Bob and Jack Jack are talking to Edna. But once again, we don't know much confirmed info about this character, but we're definitely looking forward to finding out. That's it for the info we've got. I'm Arielle, and thanks for watching everything we know about The Incredibles 2. What are you most looking forward to? Is there anything we've missed? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you always know when we have something new. And don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of the notification squad, because remember, Frederator loves you.